What up? Good evening. I'm about to say good morning. Welcome to another edition of Purpose for Forever. I am AD. As you can see, I am by myself this evening, kind of, sort of. This is the men's show because you know it's Father's Day or Father's Month, all month long. So I got some other brothers that are coming through. We're going to have a great conversation. The topic is having the uncomfortable conversations, some of the uncomfortable conversations that we have in our households with our spouse, with our families, and things of that nature. So sit back, relax, make sure you share. You know what we do. Sharing is caring. And let everybody know that the brothers from Purpose for Forever, the husbands, are in the building. All right. So we'll be right back after this. So this is your time to share. This is your time to share. All right. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So today we're talking about having the uncomfortable conversation, or conversations. Let's see, who is that in the building? Hey, Lisa. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Always supporting. So like I said, today we're talking about the uncomfortable conversation. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the first question. All right. So, and we kind of talked about this on our show one time, and I was like, I'm gonna bring this up, see what the brothers say. If you find your spouse is wrong in a conversation, do you correct her there? Or does it matter the context of the conversation? Or does it matter between who, just a conversation, and let's just say it's a stat or something that's come up, a game, or even just maybe a political talk, and she says something, you're like, baby, you're wrong about that one. Do you say something there? You kind of let it ride, try to let them hash it out, and then you say something later.
So you're saying that you're amongst other people?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you're amongst others, okay, good. What was that dude? Dave Chappelle had a skit called "Keeping It Real Goes Wrong." I think when keeping it real goes wrong, I think you can keep it real. If you want to keep it real, baby, you wrong for that. That won't even. That ain't. You can keep it real if you want to, but I think that would pretty much go wrong for most intellectual type of relationships and women and men. Yeah. That wouldn't be the case for me. I would definitely. For me, it's not even about calling. It's not even about correcting her. It's just about the respect level that I would listen to what she say.
Right.
Okay. And I would just put a pin. I think I've heard you say this before, and just put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Right. I would just put a pin in it.
Yeah.
And then later on, when we're alone, I'm just like, hey, bro, I don't know if anybody else caught. I laugh. I don't know if everybody else caught it, but you was wrong about that. I would try to throw it in like that a little bit later on in the evening. That's how I would definitely do that.
Okay. All right. What about you, McNair?
Marcus, how long you been married?
Now 24 years.
Nice.
That's
wrong.
See you experienced.
Right.
In my experience, words are very important. So to say a word like wrong, that's a trigger.
Right.
If you did want to deal with it on the spot, you would have to say something along the lines of, I don't know if I agree with you on that one, baby. Versus no, you wrong, boo. Nah, that ain't
You wrong for that. You wrong.
That ain't gonna fly.
I got you.
So wisdom says that you be careful of even the wording that you use, especially when it comes to contending,
Right.
or that can be dealt with as a confrontational.
Right.
So yeah, you just have to be careful when trying to disagree with what they're saying, because wrong is wrong now.
Right.
And it doesn't have a face, it doesn't have a name. Wrong is just wrong,
Right.
So if you want to deal with it, and it's something that you all are having a debate about, and it's just discussion. It's okay to disagree. You don't have to agree on everything. We're different, and we have different points of views.
Yes.
And then even when it don't come to points of views, but like you said, statistics.
Right.
Wrong is wrong, doc, and the statistics is right.
Right.
So you can say, I don't know, baby, I disagree because Google says this.
Right.
Whatever the case may be.
Right.
Right.
That's,
and can I'll add that even he says, do you correct her there? Just like Mr. McNair said, that if it's a situation where you are having a discussion, it's not heated, then sure, that's not a problem. And I think you got to know what the atmosphere is, and then there's a particular thing called a delivery. Now, Domino's give you $3 back if you go pick it up yourself right now, but your delivery must be okay. Right. It has to be, decent. You can't come in with a hook, because your delivery, in which you are telling anybody that they're wrong about something, especially your spouse, you ain't going. Yeah, even if you're right, you won't come across the way you wanted to, the way you thought about it in your head before you spoke. It shall not, because hopefully that's what we do. We think about it first. We don't just go, that's wrong, that's wrong. You don't do that, right? So you think about it first, and you go, how can I say that my baby's not right right now?
Right.
In a right way.
Think about that. In a right way. There you go. Stack the Lego blocks.
Yes,
you gotta stack different things, and then you open your mouth. So I think the delivery is important as well.
Yeah, that delivery definitely matters. It definitely matters. Timing. Like, I'm with you on that, Marcus. Sometimes it's like later on. Remember that conversation we was having? You might have been a little off on that. And I think sometimes, like, in the context of who the conversation is with, if it's someone that she's not in the best standing with, that she doesn't really care for too much, it's like, the last thing I want to look like is I'm taking their side. Like,
right.
No matter what, like McNair said, Google said. I didn't say she said. I said Google said. Google said it. Oh.
And no matter what she says, either later on she might say, "Well, if you knew I wasn't right, why you ain't tell me then? Making me just talk and look stupid."
Yeah,
I just right.
Yeah. Man, that's good.
That probably didn't catch it, boo.
All right. All right. So this one, and you guys are more experienced than I am, and Marcus actually had a whole, maybe a Sunday school about it when we was online with the kids. So, have you guys had the sex talk with your kids, and how did you have it? Or how did you approach it? I guess that's probably the best way to put it. So I'm gonna toss to McNair first. Like, I'm sure you have. I guess asking, did you have it? I'm sure in some form.
Let me share with you, because I just had a sex talk with my son who's married.
Wow.
Okay. Well, the thing is, he has kids now.
Right.
So I share with him some of the things that I did while they were growing up.
Okay.
So you don't wait.
Right.
And a whole lot of people try to say that they should wait, but what I admonished him to do you can begin to steer them while they are in their young ages. His kids are like 6 and 4.
Okay.
Somewhere along those lines. So when he's having conversations, and these are key conversations that you have with the climate of today. And I say, well, son, I say, you can have these conversations now. And it sort of starts like this. Well, baby, when you marry your husband and then you have kids.
Right. Okay.
That's so easy.
I got you.
Because you've done planted a couple of things. Okay. One of the first things that you've planted is that she's marrying a man.
Right.
Versus what TV says.
Right. That's one of the first things that you have planted when you start out a conversation like that. Another thing that you've planted is the order of things. You get married first, and then you have a baby. Right. See, we ain't even mentioned the word sex yet. you know, so you. Right. Delivery is everything. So wisdom says that you start these conversations out this way so that it can begin. See, where there's light, darkness can't abide. Right. So if you begin to shine that light on these things, then you ain't got to worry about her coming up later talking about she don't know how she feel because she look at girls the same way she look at boys. Because you've already planted that seed, you've already planted that light, and when you planted that light, then it doesn't leave that room for them to go in any other direction because you've already been having these conversations since they was little girls.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. I should.
That's heavy right there. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Hey. Look, man, you have to do it early. You have to do it early, man.
What's so funny? It's heavy, but I would use the word simple. Right. That was heavy, but very simple.
Right.
Yes.
And so I think that's what makes it. I mean, that's what made it. The simplicity is what made it heavy. Because it is true. I believe in speaking at an early age. I believe in starting the conversation off. You need to get it from me, then you get it from TV or social media.
Right.
And then the curiosity piece that falls in line.
Right.
I don't want you to hear it first from somebody at school. They don't know more than what you know.
Right.
What a first grader gonna teach another first grader? Right. So I truly do believe, and especially with the internet now, I don't see how nobody can say you should wait till they're 11 or you should wait till they're teens. You're way beyond too late.
You're behind the ball.
In regards to trying to steer the boat.
Right.
If you wait until that age, you can't use the same tactics that was used on you, even if it worked. That's my point of it.
Right.
Even in the tactics that worked for you, because a lot of times as parents, what do? We take the things that was taught to us, what we like, we keep. What we don't like, we get rid of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with this particular topic, the fact of these cell phones, and there is no restrictions. You can literally go to any website right now and get right on, free of charge, no doubt about it. Easy go. So you cannot approach this with the same things that work for you. So one, yes, early age. Two, you got to continuously speak about this. This isn't a one time. You had to talk about the birds and the bees. That's what was on TV when I was growing up. Did you have to talk about the birds and the bees? No. We got to start talking about birds, bees, beetles. We got to talk about everything. Right. There has to be some consistency at every level. And I believe that is. I thought that was excellent. What McNair said was the way to start it out, as far as that direction, setting it up in line, letting them know who they are, who they're going to be, marrying, and then that order of being children afterwards. And then but at some point, the word intercourse comes into play.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then you will have to have that conversation in regards to, hey, listen, I felt certain feelings at a certain age. I know you're feeling them way before that.
Right.
For both my sons and my daughters, I had to talk with both, and I definitely had I had talked with, like I said, there was both. There was no, for my girls, I want how to talk, but for my boy, I'm going to dap him up, like, hey, go get him. Definitely nothing like that.
Right.
It was a talk of you, your body, and respect.
Right.
The fact that, of course, God was first in every conversation that we had. And the things that, the whole dating scene, because once your kids get around that dating age, and for some, it may be never. For me in my household, we had said at 16. So at 16, you were able to date. But the word date, I just wanted them to understand, a lot of times people, that is, that act of marriage where that's my man, that's my woman. So then you start to have the conversation about, we are doing like, family dating. There's an ease into all of this. And then you still begin to talk, even in family dating, the whole family, we all going to the movie theater. And as we're walking in there, I'm like, hey man, listen, I see her holding your hand a lot. I see her trying to come around. Yeah, I see you trying to hold her hand a lot. And I see this and I see that, because I don't want you to think just because you're my son, I'm on your side and I don't think you do no wrong. No. Listen. I see all these different things, and I want you to understand that, listen, the things that I'm telling you about, the things that we're talking about, we've already discussed. We're going to continue to discuss that. You have to have these talks with your children at an early age and continue. You can't just come in and wait that long, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Right. I won't stay on too long, but that's my biggest piece, is that if you wait too long, it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation. Right. And it's harder. Not saying it's impossible. It's harder to steer the boat when it's uncomfortable, when it feels awkward to have that conversation with each other.
Right.
And so if you want to have an impact, you want to start early.
That's good. It's funny because I felt like I was behind, but McNair kind of made me feel better, because we've been talking about marriage and husband and wife, like, in relation to mom and dad, and, and how we treat each other and things. We've been taking them through the steps. I forgot how did we get into one of the conversations, and my daughter asked, so there was a news story about and I don't even know why. Some things you're like, wow, that's sick. Why would someone go through that? But apparently a teacher was bringing cupcakes to school. Okay. And she was using the ejaculation of her man or husband, putting it into the cupcakes. Yeah, like, right. Like, yeah. Because I don't even think it wasn't like a male teacher, it's like it's an extra step, like it's still stick all together. So my daughter was like, what's ejaculation? Like, so our conversation got a little deeper.
I can imagine.
So kind of explaining that, but we have, it's not like a total shock. They already knew. It's like, I guess it's like those pieces, putting certain pieces together. Because I always, definitions. For me, like, I don't know. Maybe it's an era thing. Maybe it's just my parents. I don't know. We never had the talk. We never talked about it. Never discussed anything like that. Never went there. I think I really didn't know about sex until maybe 19. Like, later on. Like, I never seen, I think, hold on, let me think. Because, there's always one household with the movies. it's always one. Mm-hmm. And their dad just had movies hanging around like it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Like, just, let me just go grab
just
it.
Up
like,
there. Right. It wasn't hidden or nothing.
Nothing. He just got it out.
Indiana Bones. Like,
right.
Indiana
Bones. Right.
So that was kind of like my first time actually seeing, like, okay, that's interesting, so but I think the steps, and I like that what you said there, the steps, if you're having the conversations, and you're right, Pinchford, if you don't waiting, not waiting, just trying to introduce them each level, because I know just watching my sister-in-laws, like them grow up, because they're adults now. Watch them as kids, and the point where we thought their head was here, but they were here. Like, they already knew it all. I was like, they already know. Like,
wow.
That was like, wow. So I always kept that in mind. Like, my kids are gonna know more than I think they know. They have more of a handle on certain things than I think. So I need to be on top of it quicker. Than I used to think. Like later, I was like, no, I don't want to wait too long because they already know. By then, I already know that. I already had the conversation with my friends. Like, oh, great. Great. Now I got to deprogram.
Right.
So that's good. That's good. So
go ahead. Something that's important with that. So we're talking about the heavy conversation.
Yes.
There has to be relationship where you all have had lighter conversations, where you all can talk and where your kids feel comfortable with dialogue and not just monologue. Because you would like for them to have some type of participation to make sure that there's understanding with what we're talking about. Because if I'm having this conversation, I'm going somewhere with this conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm leading you somewhere. So if I'm leading you, I need to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. So we have to make sure that we talk. Right. We have to communicate with our kids and not fussing all the time.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. Ask like you said, I think it teaches you. Ask the question. See what knowledge, like you said, about having to maybe do some modification in what they and how they think and things. Right. See how much they know. Easy. You definitely want to have at least a few set questions, and then you also just have some things that you can, just go off of what they're speaking about. Truly, because no matter what, they are going to, whether it's them or someone they hang with, someone's going to surprise you. Right. Someone will surprise you in the level in which they know some things, and that's why. Even and I don't want this to be even for people who maybe they didn't have that talk, and their child could be 14 right now, right? Right. Just understand, your child has already, they who knows, and, when that first person tried to kiss them, when that first person tried to, we played, back in the days, there was those certain kids that, hide and go seek, go get, whatever you want to call it.
Go get.
Right? Go get my, I didn't want to say it like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But,
sure did.
But all of those different things, the kissing games and all sort of stuff. I mean, you think about it, like those were moments that you were proud of. You was happy about. It wasn't shameful. It wasn't shameful to run and go grab that girl and kiss her and all that. That wasn't a shameful thing. So to them, on their level, if you haven't talked to them yet, they think what they're doing is good. Right. They think what they're doing, this is a good feeling. Like this is that happy ending. Play on words. This is that happy ending that I am, that I see about, that I read about, that I hear about. Like, this is my love, my heart, and it's nothing like that. Right. It's nothing like that. So you definitely want to ask the questions. Like I said, even for those who haven't had it yet, it's never too late. Sometimes it's just a little bit harder to steer the boat if you didn't have it at an earlier age. But I just want to make sure I let you know, if you haven't had it, make sure you take that time. Make sure it's not a time when you don't want to be you ain't got to be surrounded by a restaurant, and because you, as a parent, you're going to feel awkward too. Like it's a challenge for you, just like it is for them. Right. And everything you think about is not going to play exactly the way you think it's going to play. Be prepared to hear some crazy stuff. Be prepared. If you waited, it's not too late. Yeah. Just make sure you prepare yourself. Be open to hear something. It may be something that you just really don't agree with. Right. And then you can start to work on different things of deprogramming on another conversation, but you got to get the information.
You got to open it up
first. You got to get it out first
right,
before you can decide to to switch and maneuver and do some things with the Tetris puzzle, you got to get the pieces first. So I'm just, again, just for any of those people that's out there, if your kids are younger, start there. If they are older, it's okay. You just got to get in there, and you got to understand they've heard some stuff, seen some stuff, all types of stuff. So yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's see. Someone was looking for us. They said they can't find us, but it's all good. I'll just see later. Let's see. All right. What did I want to ask? Okay.
This one. Can I say something right quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Throw it.
With the conversations with our kids, there has to be. They have to be in a place where they trust you. And that's kind of like where I was going when it was coming to we can't be fussing all the time. We have to be in places where we have conversations where they feel comfortable enough to actually have conversations with you. So if I'm fussing, all the time, then it's not going to be any dialogue. It's only going to be monologue, and that's coming from me because I'm barking. So if there's going to be any type understanding in the conversation, there has to be a safe place where they feel comfortable to talk and to share. And I'm telling you, if you're barking, if you're fussing, it's not going to happen. They're not going to feel that safety of opening up and letting go and actually sharing stuff. Then what they share with you is going to be spotted. It's not going to be, you're not going to get the whole truth. You're going to get a part of the truth, maybe, if you get anything. So you got to make sure that they have that safe place and that you make them feel safe as possible, where they trust you, where they really can talk to you and open up to you, because that's the whole part of it's supposed to be a conversation.
Okay. So you're saying, like, both of you guys, so gauging your reaction when you get, either get surprising news, first time kind of news, or I'm about to kind of news. I'll
just share this. I was talking, matter of fact, me and my wife was talking about this the other night, probably about 2 nights ago. We must have saw something on TV. And I looked at her and I said, yeah, I failed. My response was not, it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
But when it happened, like, remember I was talking about that safe place? And making them feel safe, making them feel like they can trust you. Well, one of the first things that I should have reassured of them at that time was that, well, Daddy loves you. That's the first thing. I know I might have steam coming out my head. Right now I'm emotional and I'm angry, but please never misunderstand that I love you. And that I'm like this and passionate about this situation because it involves you. So then you go from there to making them making sure that they know that they are loved and that you have not changed your love for them because they're thinking about this or because they're doing this. And I'm telling you, I did not do that. I went in. I did. I went in, and now I didn't go in strong. But I didn't reassure them, and I'm telling you that is important, man. If you want them to hear you, because once they start growing older and getting up in age, you could tell them Lord knows how many times, and they cannot, for some reason, hear you. You be done told them something, Lord knows how many times. Somebody else comes along, tell them the same thing that you've been telling them, and it clicks.
Right.
And then give them the credit. Mr. Washington, I mean, he gave it to me straight. He said to leave my panties up. I've been saying that though. What?
The whole time.
The whole time I've been telling you that.
The whole time I've been telling you that.
For breakfast, we be like, hey, have some cereal, leave your panties up, and continue to go on.
You know what I'm saying?
All your life.
Hey, you want to go, girl? Keep your panties up.
Right.
Nah.
Mr. Washington, really?
Wow.
No, I get it. Yeah. And then, as far as that conversation, I'll just add it. I mean, it's kind of the same. It flows with that as far as let them know you love them, and let them know you're listening.
Okay.
Like you don't.
That's
like
good.
You said, let them know you're listening. Like I want you to be clear. Cause like, say that again for me. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's good. I got you. I'm not saying that's good out loud, but in my head, I'm saying okay.
Right.
Like, and then here's another piece too. For me, for us, it's is it just me in the room, or is it me and my wife in the room? Right. So if it's me and my wife, we can kind of play off each other. Like if some big news come.
Oh, must got a phone call. Okay, hold on. We don't hear you. We don't hear you. Can't hear you. No. Still can't hear you.
No.
Now we're good.
No.
Now we're good.
I'm gonna leave out and come back in.
Okay.
You
good.
You good.
Oh. Too late. Gotta love it. Oh. Okay. But that's good though. Like, yeah, the different conversations. I guess when you have your spouse with you, as opposed to, does it help with the temperament? I'll say for yourself, do you feel like the conversation a little different, or do you feel like it depends
on the conversation.
Okay.
Oh, it depends on what someone's pretty much pet peeve is.
Right.
Gotcha. Because when it's me, I'm a little bit more lighthearted, depending upon what the situation is.
Right.
Her, it might be a little bit different.
Right.
So a lot of times, because we're different, we think different.
Right.
So she's thinking one way. I hear her going from her angle, and I let her talk, and I support what she's saying.
Gotcha.
And then later on, I come back from my perspective and from the way I'm looking at it.
Okay.
So a lot of times it helps out. That's way y'all can cover everything, because I'm a man.
Right.
So I have a man's perspective.
Right. Definitely.
And she's a woman, and she has a woman's perspective.
Interesting. So Marcus, you were saying if it's two of you guys chatting or talking about,
y'all can play off of one another.
Play off of one another. Uh-oh. Is that you can't hear? Can you hear us now? No.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna probably have to go out and come back in. I apologize, but let me tell you what you sound like to me. I'm gonna do exactly what you sound like. I don't know what you are. That's what you sound like. I'm gonna go out and come back in. I apologize.
Okay.
Go out and come back one more time. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. StreamYard is a funny place, man, because it has its moments. I don't know if I need to change platforms sometimes. I mean, it's easy. It's like
right.
But sometimes it just be having its issues. So I did want to just switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
So this is kind of be the last question, but have you always taken the lead in your home? Have you always taken the lead in your home?
No.
Have you ever have? No. Okay. So you had.
No.
Did you feel like you had to play catch up, or like?
No.
Okay.
No. Because when it comes to some things, with me and my wife together, there are some things where that's my spot, that's my space.
Right.
And then there are other things that's her space.
Right.
And I do not mind allowing her to have that space.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she could take go on, baby. I don't know nothing about college.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about study habits because I suck at it. I don't know nothing about reading a whole lot of books.
Right.
If it ain't the BIBLE, you know, pretty much you can almost miss me with it. Or my Sunday school book, but so when it comes to certain things, I let her take the lead. Okay. When it comes to certain things, as far as her having the knowledge of something, I ain't no fool. Okay. I'm not gonna go into a situation, even though I'm the man. I know I'm the man. She know I'm the man. Everybody else know I'm the man. But I'm not a fool of a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay back and I'm gonna let her have it. Go ahead on, baby. You got it. You got it. So I don't have a problem with my wife taking the lead because we know what we know. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. So I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with my wife making decisions. Because that's my wife. If I was gonna be like that, then I shouldn't have chose her. You know what I'm saying? If I can't trust her with some things, she's not the right one. Thankfully I have the right one. I chose right.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't have a problem stepping back and letting her take the lead. So I do not always take the lead in my home.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. What about you, Marcus? Have you always taken the lead in your home, or?
No, I don't. No, I would same thing. I don't want to be an echo, but same thing. Now I would probably say majority. I probably say majority of the time I probably do, only because of depending on what it is. But yeah, depending on what the subject is. If I'm more acclimated at the subject, and to be honest with you, my wife has she has a lot of things that she likes to do. I have a lot of things I like to do. We have a lot of things that we do together, right? And so when we do those things together, I listen. I am competitive. I am, and so when we get to doing something, I'm like, hey, I know if I know a little bit more, then I'm gonna do it. But like just like Maneri said, if I married a woman that I felt intellectually speaking was worth something, right?
Yes, sir.
Why would I waste that? Why waste a worth?
That's good.
Why waste a worth?
That's good.
My wife was no dummy, and I've met dummies in my life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We are all on different levels. There's someone smarter than me. There's someone smarter than my wife. For me and my wife, we were right where we needed to be, what we wanted. And so when it comes to taking the lead, no, like I said, now there are some things that she'll be like, hey, babe, even though she knows how to put the Ethernet cable in the box, right? She'll be like, babe, it's not working. And I'll be like, I got you. Hold on. That's just for me. That's just some stuff. Just for me. That's all that is. Okay?
That's
she knows how to do it. If I leave the house, I come back, the cable's on, everything's working, right?
Right.
But when I'm at the crib and something like that happens, babe, look what happened. And I go, okay, got you. Boom. Right. But no, easily have no problem. And I believe also for me being in the prior military, I can tell you that it's a fact that she's taking the lead. Because there were times when I was away from the house. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4. I mean, and anybody has ever had an occupation when you have to be away from the home, you know that you have to have if you're still together, you had to have had a strong woman that was good enough to lead the home.
I know that's right.
So that alone tells me that no, I do not always. If I always had to take the lead, I wouldn't be able to lead a crib. Okay. So I don't always have to take the lead. Definitely. But when we're together, I would say most of the time I'll probably do. That's just more of a competition thing.
That's good. That part right there. You hit on it right there. If I always had to take the lead, I couldn't leave the home. I couldn't leave the crib because she needs me for everything. I would have to run everything. Oh, there we go. He said, all right, now it's something right. Oh, so yeah, that's good. Cause I'm like that as well. He said, all right, here we go. People's coming in. There we go. He said, I feel that. He said, I feel that, bro. He said, feel all that, bro. And I feel like sometimes, you always get those schools of thought, right? Like, I got to be the man in my household. Don't be a simp.
That pressure.
That
pressure.
And can I be transparent for a second? So me and my wife had been, we've been back and forth for a long time. Everybody know our story. And there'll be moments, you go to a church and preacher's like, man, if the man don't do this and control this and run this, you ain't the man. And, I go home mad, like, I'm the man. I'm the man. I control all, knowing, just like you said, why waste someone's worth or their value? Like, my wife is extraordinary at certain things in the home. Like, why would I take that? Why would I do that when she's so much better at it? And I found myself, and I'm like, I'm a dude. She's like, fine, do it. You have it. It's yours. And I fumble it, mess it up. I don't know what I'm doing. No idea. You can have this back. Just let me know what's going on.
Right.
And you realize taking the lead, running your household. I think just as a man and a leader, and they always talk about the submissive thing, and it's there, but it's like anything that goes down in this household, I got to be on top of it. I got to make sure it's straight. I got to make sure it's handled. But at the same time, my wife is my helpmeet. So if I'm not around, she can run and do the things that need to be done. And he said, yeah, right. He said, yeah, but that was learned right by trial and error. Or did you know that from the beginning? That's good. That's good.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. Yeah. Trial and error. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, yeah. And then also think of, if you're looking at it, if there's a lead, then there's a follow, right? He says, because the question says, have you always taken the lead in your home? If there's a lead, there's a follow. You look at it like a team. You're both moving in a particular direction.
Right.
If I feel like I always have to lead, then sometimes I may, just because I'm human, I may feel like there's nothing left for me to learn. I know everything there is to learn. I have to be able. What the Bible does say, humble yourself. I have to be able to then fall back and let her take the lead on some things. And I learned from what I just saw. I learned how to be humble. I learned how to follow. Then we swap it back up. Now I'll lead and then she follow. I mean, like I said, it's as long as we're both moving in that same direction. I think that's the biggest thing as far as have you always taken the lead in your home? As long as y'all are moving forward, you're going to be in the lead regardless. Like I said, but I just think that for the most part, I do take more of the lead.
Right.
But my wife definitely takes the lead, so not a problem at all.
Good. Okay. Listen, I appreciate everybody for being here, rocking with us. Purpose for Forever. Man, we're just talking about the uncomfortable conversations. We had a great conversation talking about correcting our spouses in public when we disagree, or talk about having the sex talk with our children and when's good time. And Elder McNair broke down some great times. So if you missed that, make sure you check it out. And as we closing out, we're talking about taking the lead in our homes. And as men, we do take the lead, and we are responsible. I think we're the heads that are responsible for what happens in our household. I always say that, like, it's crazy. And I heard a preacher say that like years ago. It's like, why is it like if you go over someone's house and it's dirty, you blame the wife? The man's the head. This house is dirty. It's on him. Like, he should be finding a way to make sure this house is clean, or figuring out what's going on, that why is this house not in order, or doing it all himself because he is supposed to be leading, and a lot of times, we get into that space that we're just supposed to be barking out orders and just be a dictator and things of that nature, but we're supposed to be working together. Christ walked among us. He walked among the disciples. He washed feet, so if we're to be leaders, like him, we need to, like Marcus said, humbling ourselves and things of that nature. Definitely. Any closing remarks, guys, before we roll out of here? Because unfortunately, in my space, I'm a little hot. The AC struggle is real.
I enjoyed the conversation.
Yes, indeed.
Same
yes, indeed.
Same I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So we appreciate you guys for watching. I know some of y'all just jumped in. I know Facebook didn't want us to be great, but definitely check out the replay. Go to YouTube and see what's going on. We had a great conversation. I loved it. We definitely gonna have more of these kind of conversations, just about what's happening in our homes and gleaning off each other. Because honestly, I wish I had called you guys for some of the stuff. I felt like I had to do by myself. I should be like, these dudes already been there. I should, hey, listen, he's here. I need some information, and I can get to what you're not gonna do. Don't do that. Do this.
Right.
But definitely, this has been some great information, man, to take with me and handling and having the conversations. And like you said, learning to listen and not let it be just a
monologue.
Don't let it be a monologue. Let it be a dialogue.
Woo, that's good right there. All right, guys. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, same channel. Know that love intentionally, love unconditionally, and love on purpose. There we go. Look at that. We almost there.